Ooh.
He was mounted on them. Like hooks. She may have been bled. There's something wrong with the meat.
Oh.
He's eating them.
My guy. Holy smokes. Oh, there he is. What a man. The lighting, the introduction.
A few moments later.
A little protein scramble to start the day. Some eggs, some sausage.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
What is he feeding this man?
I think Uncle Jack sees you as a fragile little teacup. Finest china used for only special guests.
How do you see me?
There we go.
The mongoose I went under the house when the snakes slid by.
Buttoning up this dress and singing and smiling while the
Tell
models
him.
laugh and point. I relive every condescending look or comment I have ever had to suffer.
Tell him.
New Orleans or buffoon. Anything else you want to say, buffoon?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Interview with the Vampire. There will not be a long intro in this video.
You're a liar.
We're gonna get right straight to it. I just want to say, when it comes to the comment section, I am kind of tired of like policing it, because at some point I don't even know what is a comment or like what is a spoiler anymore. Like I don't even know the difference, because some of it is blatant, some of it is not, and I love to read the comments and engage. A couple of you have said not to interact with the comment section, and you just gotta understand that like I'm a relatively small channel, and if I don't interact with the comments, YouTube does not promote my videos. I mean, my interview videos don't even get that much push, and they're the best performing things on my channel right now. So I gotta be in the trenches. I gotta be in the comments like an hour after I drop the video, just trying to interact and like get that engagement up. That is one side, but the other side is that I actually love engaging with the viewers and the fans of the story. Just that extra engagement we do that is not just the video part. I like engaging in that, so I gotta be there. So for those two reasons, I can't just ignore the comments, because like I know a lot of big channels, like they just drop their videos and it's deuces, adios, like you guys can chat between each other now, but like I like to get in there and like say what's up as much as I can. So when you're commenting, just use your best judgment. Does this feel like a spoiler? Does this feel like it's hinting? Like I said, I'm tired of like policing it. This would probably be the last time I'll talk about spoilers, just because like it gets tiring for you guys. It's just, you just deal with it in the little time you watch the video, but for me it's 247, because like hundreds and hundreds of comments and stuff, like it's the whole day. So it's like some of those things that are written in the comments, they seep into my head, you know. I went back and watched some of my videos, and I could in real time see how some things that some people have told me kind of like manifested into some of the things I was saying. Obviously I have my own agency and all that, like I say what I say with my whole chest, even if I'm wrong or I'm right, I say all that. There's always great comments that help flesh out something I missed, but there are also some of those comments that like, as I went back and watched through some of my videos, like I could see what people were saying actively seep into my commentary a little bit, and that made me feel so like, it made me feel weird. Again, like I said, I spend a lot of time with the whole thing every day, just looking at comments and stuff, and kind of like anything you feed your mind, some of it like seeps in there. But yeah, that's just my intro for today. Please just use your best judgment with comments. I'm tired of policing it. I got some moderators, so hopefully those beautiful people will do what they're able to for me. But let's check this out. I went back and watched the last episode again. Amazing in so many ways. Seeing Lestat at the cafe where Armand and Louis were having that awesome conversation about evil, about like different levels of evil, or is evil just the same? Seems like a conversation I've had with some people back in the day, where it's like, you know, this whole idea of like every sin has the same judgment, and the pushback against it of like, I mean, there are levels to this, you know. I can steal a matchbox and someone steals millions of dollars, but it's like, we shouldn't get the same punishment for those, right? Similarly, like if I ended a person's life versus I stole $5, we shouldn't get the same punishment for that, you know. But yeah, Lestat intruded, and I love this idea that Armand has like known for months what Louis did to Lestat, but he just wanted to hear it from his own lips. Yeah, that scene stuck out to me a lot, and for what it's worth, I really enjoy Louis and Armand's romance so far. It's so tender. It's so yeah. I said this wasn't going to be a long intro, so let's get into this episode. Thank you for watching. We're getting very close to the end of season 2. Very close. We're in episode 4. It just seems like a lot has transpired already, which is why I love these episodes. Each episode is so loaded. But yeah, let's get into episode 4, I believe. Thanks for watching, y'all. Let's hope I don't have a battle with subtitles today.
You and me.
Okay.
Favorite scene.
And where is he now?
That's debatable. Go away.
The next 50 years.
Yeah, she don't like that. Shit is gonna hit the fan this episode. Look at her. Oh, Claudia. Look at Louis' face. I'm enjoying this so much, but at the same time, like with the way last episode ended, I thought this episode was going to get active immediately, because he took Louis out to essentially end him, right? But then he was invited upstairs. And then with everything Daniel Molloy just discovered, the theater burnt down. So now just seeing Louis sitting in there willy-nilly with Armand, I'm like, what does the Coven members think about this? Because were they expecting him to come back without... Weren't they expecting him to come back with like Louis barbecued already? She's doing great. Let me know if she's the one really singing.
Coven life requires a letting go of the self. She carried her water uphill like a seasoned player.
Okay. Who's talking?
I'm a birdie. Away from there! I'm a birdie. Have been changed!
Hello?
Little birdie loose caught in a trap.
I wonder if any of this will be triggering for her.
Birdie loves the breeze!
I don't know, maybe I'm reading in too much, especially the leg part. Like, didn't Bruce freaking break her leg? So I don't know, like, I mean, I already know she doesn't like this, but she had her issues with it, as they said, but maybe one of these plays might hit too close to home. I'm worried for baby girl. I mean, I've always been happy she is in the Coven now, because like this is all she ever wanted, but at the same time, I mean, I've said it over and over again, we're watching Interview with the Vampire, right? It's like happy ever after is not necessarily something I I align with this show, but I'm always worried for my Claudia, man. And I mean, I hope they don't, but I hope they don't lean heavy into any like racial stereotypes with this acting, because yeah. Oh, she died?
The play was a hit.
Y'all are wild.
They added shows, added seats, sold souvenirs.
How did the Coven take it?
Mostly with good
They were
grace.
bitter.
Hey.
Y'all are giving two different...
Fuck off! 3 minutes.
Santiago, dog. Hey, yo, my man. But something I wanted to actually talk about was like, there's just, even if it's comedic, there's just this through line of like every single vampire having a horrible past. Like Santiago saying, that's his name, right? Please, we're past my season 1 butchering of names. So Santiago, yes. Santiago saying like he hated his mortal father. We can already imagine why. Probably the same reason Lestat hated his mortal father. And the dude making the dresses or the outfits, saying he imagined that was his mom while she beats him with a crucifix. So I love that through line of like, yeah, the way the world treats them and all that. I mean, Amarn's coven, like how they were treated and had to live in the gutters and like all that stuff. But my boy Santiago, you getting top while being that mad? Something ain't right.
And Claudia, if you do absolutely nothing else, at least enunciate.
Those are my notes, but
By the 500th performance, Claudia was beyond bored.
500th.
Yes, matron.
so explain to the company why the 500th performance of My Baby Loves Windows felt more like a slug than a celebration.
500s, that's the reason.
Wave your words to shore, please.
Of my existence, buttoning up this dress and singing and smiling while
Tell
the mortals
'em.
laugh and point. I relive every condescending look or comment I have ever had to suffer.
Tell him.
I've lost my passion for work on stage. I think I prefer backstage work.
Thank you. Tell him.
Sam, and why, as the author of My Baby Loves Windows, would you humble yourself thus?
It's a privilege to work in this theater. I do what I'm asked, and I do it gratefully.
Your nomadic passion, Claudia, owes your playwright an apology. You'll sleep in it, rehearse in it, feed in it, hunt in it.
Hello?
Off stage until she returns to you on.
Oh, that's harsh.
And yet the audience sang along in full voice.
Standing up for her? Hey.
The red hands of clapping cattle are not the measure of the Théâtre des Vampires. If they were, your mugging and pandering would have a standing room only to the decade.
Why single out our sister when nomadic passion has infected the entire company?
Oh.
Maître might not have noticed.
Year and a half ago?
When a certain vampire was granted dispensation for...
They getting on Louis' ass. Yes, I love that they're standing for Claudia though. Oh, I like this. I like this. I love that they're standing up for Claudia because it's like maybe we've just grown wary of it. They getting on Omar's ass, him and Louis. Because this is what I was saying. It's like maybe I just assumed too much that there'll be like immediate chaos after Amon refused to kill Louis. That was my fault for assuming that. But it's like probably at the end of the day, he's still their leader, right? So they're not just gonna do a coup d'etat like overnight. So it's been a year plus from that in the 500th performance. But while they were initiating her into the coven, didn't they say she would play that role for the next 50 years? So it's just 1 year, year 1.5, and she's already done. Claudia, I love that explosion. I love how she went in. That was reminiscent of when she like went in on Louis, season 1, episode 3, about like you did this to me, think on that and all that. Like I just love it. And with season 2, episode 1, when they were at the boiler room, when she said like I've known 4 vampires, like her delivery, like this Claudia is so. Someone made a comment the other day that it made me think of the 2 Claudias, and I'm like, oh, like I agree. Like our first Claudia in season 1, both amazing actresses. Our first Claudia in season 1 was quite bubbly and happy because like those initial stages of her life were. She knew how to be vicious when she needed to towards the later seasons, towards the later episodes of season 1. She killed it. She said like this Claudia is like a more matured Claudia, not just like maybe not physically, but like the world and the story has gotten to a place where like it's much darker, so she's more like stoic and all that, which I was like, that make a lot of sense because like this Claudia has gone through it, gone through a whole war, gone through seen some diabolical stuff, like all the stuff they saw in was it Lithuania? So yeah, anytime Claudia has an outburst of just like something she's been holding in, chef's kiss. Do it again, girl. Oh, like that. I want to rewind and watch it. And that's another fact too. Like Claudia is so proud of being a fierce vampire. So proud of it. Like it's ecstasy for her. Like the pride of being a vampire. And now she's made to do this with that added element of being pointed at and laughed at by humans who she finds to be inferior, even if she haven't said it out loud like Lestat happily does. Yeah, that's another extra layer for it for her.
And yet the audience sang along.
And the way she looked at Louis like, are you gonna say something? And Louis is like, please, like, come on, that's your boo. Go say something to him. Like, Louis, I didn't expect that response, man. Because she looked at him like, I mean, probably Louis can't do anything because he's not a part of their gang. But that look of is the same way if I have a kid or if I have a friend who look up to me and they're being like harassed or berated or something, and they look at me for like, you know, help or some kind of, are you gonna have my back? And you freaking shrug. Boy, maybe there's an something else going there, but hey, that's just how I'm seeing it, right? And Santiago, like standing up, yes, say something.
And yet the audience sang along in full voice.
Louis, I got a name.
Louis takes all the proper precautions.
Reviews and stuff in the cafe.
During Blood Sabbath.
I'll loan it to you when I'm done.
Oh, this is not about Louis.
Discipline Claudia for bumping into the scenery, but let Louis run wild.
Call them out.
Are you companions?
Yes.
No.
Hey, that's the equivalent of, instead of saying this my girlfriend or my boyfriend, you're like, this is my very close friend. Excuse me? A very close friend? That's not what the heck you were saying last night. The to the point where they all started fighting. I mean, you gotta hold people accountable, man. It's like you're out here going off at Claudia, but you and homeboy share that like nomadic experience too, man. Where like y'all only come here vaguely when you guys are not out perusing. And I think this was the point I was trying to make earlier about like how I swear it just left my head again. Let's get back into this, man. I mean, I ate breakfast this morning. Why am I? Hydration. Maybe I need to hydrate more.
It's whatever you want to call it.
An affair? A romance?
Works for me. Companion works, too. It's not the word I would use.
So it's not whatever I want to call it, then?
This is great. What we got is great.
Just not a companionship.
We see each other when we want to.
You don't understand the danger I risk every night for you. How that danger compounds with every slight.
What slight?
You rarely join us for a hunt.
What's the secret?
Lestat.
I'm the secret. Do you notice how hot the room gets when you two talk about the secret?
Okay, then. I'll come around more.
You have to get back.
I love you.
I know that's not really Lestat, but his face whenever like Louis says something or or like Louis makes like some kind of like sharp comment, like when Louis said I killed it and he had it coming, and Lestat was like, that's debatable. Oh god. And now even when Lestat, Louis kicked him and said, I love you, the way Lestat's eye just went sharp into him as he's like smoking his cig. Is the reason why he don't like the word companion is because of like what that word used to mean like him and Lestat. Yeah, maybe kind of like the same way I mentioned how like, or how Claudia mentioned that like, her being masqueraded as a baby like makes her remember like her reality that she's not so fond of. So maybe that word companion is triggering for old boy. And for those wondering why this season, why like I am less claws out for Lestat, it's not really him, right? He's not really there, and like this Lestat is like one of the most fun versions of Lestat. Y'all call it Dreamstat, right? And I feel like in just this season, my biases are put away because like there's no active person being hurt by him. As opposed to like last season where everything from the church and the turn-in to Miss Lily to the opera house to the tenor to Claudia to the train, whole of last season, man, homie, with his reasons that made sense to him and to us the viewers with hindsight and everything. It's like he was always actively doing some reckless shit. But yeah, throughout this season he's just been fun, funny, the times he appeared, well, except episode 1 in the you and me and you scene of Louis telling Claudia, if you are the only one, I'll be here. That one made me feel something, because it's like, oof, Lestat would have done anything to hear that from Louis. Crazy work.
You spilled me. This man is laughing.
I love you.
Are you schizophrenic, Louis?
Right. Are you schizophrenic, or is that just your mind or your thoughts? Is like, bruh, Lestat is hilarious in this season, boy. I mean, he's always been hilarious, but some of the wilder shit he did just overpowered that.
No.
I mean, did you consider yourself schizophrenic at the time?
I'm not sure the term applies to a vampire. Perhaps when the book is published, enterprising psychotherapists will write papers.
Until then, you only have Daniel Molloy.
He was my biographer, my therapist, my murderer.
Would you like to know what it felt like?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
The movement of air with his movements. Breath on the back of my neck.
Uh-oh, Armand.
Reach out and touch his hand.
And you weren't feeling Lestat in the room?
No. And I was not aware he was as present as it seems he was. But looking back on it now, I can understand it.
I was severing one and knitting another.
Were you two the only ones who survived the fire at the theater?
Talk about it. How did he know that, right?
You weren't provided any information about the fire in our archives. That's what makes you fascinating, girl. You'd only do her if she had a paper.
The fire?
Claudia.
So was that Daniel slipping? Was that him slipping? And in that scene too, there was also Armand in his head. So was Armand trying to find where that came from? God damn, like, I'm only 14 minutes into the show and my video is already 40. God damn it. Here we go, man. Another 2-hour video. Good thing my water bottle is full.
What are you writing, baby Lou?
Oh, Santiago found her.
Honoring the blood. No vampire must commit to writing the history of the vampires.
Law 3, it's not the history. Random thoughts is a habit.
Her friends. I love the kinship between them.
I hear their petty insults in the middle of our scene.
You know what we call Celeste behind her back? To ask that she doesn't need a coffin to sleep in anymore. See him there.
I love him.
Go on.
Oh.
Has a gravely attachment to the laws. Can turn to tinder.
I don't need
Francis Norton was transformed. Here lies his daddy vamp. I have bent lawful with at least half the working girls at Le Chabanais, but I am rigorous, lurking in the shadows. And thank you for the kind words you wrote about me.
How do you know what I wrote?
Just now, right in front of you.
This is humiliating as hell. This is humiliating as all hell, man. Oh, she f***ed him up.
Des billets froissés, des boucles d'oreilles pleines de sang. Si vous avez été arracher des lobes.
Quel souvenir que cette journée.
Ton corps était pas encore formé, mais ton esprit déjà sophistiqué.
Funny. You made no impression on me at all.
Oh.
Liked you.
I'm an actress now.
I've seen this show. Your French is still ugly. Like your Dao outfit.
I agree. I just wouldn't say it because it's rude and obvious.
And look at them vandalizing her window.
Some just there to be there. Painters. Yeah.
Santiago.
And the waterfall of pretension bursting forth from his mouth and cavity. Already doing it.
Already doing it. Hey man, for some of you who love the longer reactions, oh god, I hope you're enjoying these, man, because boy, I read a comment from one of you yesterday that says watching this show is not just watching this show. Like, you gotta be present. There's so much going on at every moment that if you're speeding through it, you might not catch a lot, or like there's a lot that you leave on the floor. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, he's not that attractive. What does he fight about him? Which is so interesting because, like, y'all have told me Louis' nickname and how, like, what about him just makes all these freaking vampires just like dive at his feet. But not Santiago, man. Santiago ain't messing with it at all. And now that question comes up, someone said in the comments, and you know, maybe the reason why they're so mesmerized by Louise, the fact that like he's a conundrum, because like he's such a vampire but still latch onto his human ways. And I mean, she said it way more eloquent than I just did, but it got me thinking that, yeah, like because like I guess because it's like most vampires, right, like they'll cling onto their vampirism like so tight that like they're just like everyone else, right? But like Louis, like pretending or like still finding a way to be like very human and expressive and isolated is a conundrum for them, because like they want to know why. They want to know what makes his brain tick. It's like at the end of the day, they get their sustenance and some kind of fun and excitement from humans because that's their food and they mess with humans. But then there's this vampire who is also those things. So it's like kind of intriguing to them. And when I read that comment, I was like, that makes a lot of sense actually. But yeah, Santiago ain't messing with him though. Like, he's ugly.
Grab my melons.
Already doing it.
Actors and photographers and saxophone players intermingling and innovating, collapsing two art forms into one, coming up with new ones.
Santiago.
Picasso, but out there on the left bank. Suppose I can't come off haughty. Everyone's fawning over Picasso, but not me. Not Louis Dulac. I'm out in the streets on the barricade.
He's using his voice?
Oh.
Is that a power he has?
Pull it on like a costume. You don't sound all that Chicago to me.
Outside Chicago. We roamed all around.
It's the emphasis on the second syllable.
That you good at? Like a parrot?
Like a gent with the upright downstairs.
Or
New Orleans!
Or a buffoon! Anything else you want to say, buffoon? I couldn't hear you from the other side of the table, but you got my attention now. Take your time. Come on. What? Spit it out. Uh-huh.
I said enough.
God damn.
To act like fledglings do it in darkness.
God damn, Armand. Louis, you mother flipping bastard, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, man. Push Louis. He's gonna snap at you. Oh, like the showcase of power in that like 7 seconds interval is crazy. Armand, God. And for a vampire as powerful as Armand, like typically you would expect them to be bad, or you expect them to be like vicious, and we don't know how his earlier days were. But it's like Armand is so freaking powerful. Okay, I like this show of power that they just showed us here, because like we knew Armand was strong. Like he's their matron, he's their leader, like he runs shit. He has the whole flame on joint. He got the whole fire joint going on. I mean, we saw some display of power when he was trying to court Lestat. But this, oof. Yeah. This right here, Louis snaps though. Yeah, Santiago is onto something. He's been onto something ever since he told Claudia last episode. Wasn't it Louis that was from Chicago? Plus Claudia telling him that like the gift my maker left me, he made me a good liar. I'm sure putting 2 and 2 together, it's like Santiago's not dumb. And the way he like got into like mimicking Louis' voice is like, yeah, I'm on your ass. I'm on your ass. But it's crazy because like sometimes I often forget that like vampires are changed at different stages in their lives. Therefore, like vampire as little in appearance as Claudia can be way more powerful than a vampire that is like matured like Santiago. So sometimes I forget that like based on their age, that their age doesn't really speak for their strength and their various gifts. It's like the older you are, the more experienced you are as a vampire, not as your actual. So it's like seeing Louis overpower him that easily. I was like, but then I remember like Louis is older than him. Louis is more powerful than him, because then they say he's the youngest one in their coven. Like he's the youngest one that they changed. Yeah, Louis snapped. But yeah, Armand, you gotta let them know they can't be messing up like that in public, especially Louis.
You all right?
Louis, you're
Come back.
Always something interesting happening there.
Maybe before the war, more than now. Then I'm really out of my gallery.
You got a nice one.
Where did you hang the Fougeron?
Over my bed all spring. I saw he was expanding beyond decorative arts, getting into paintings. Got a good price.
So are you a dealer or are you an artiste, Mr. Dulac?
I like to think
both.
Maybe both.
We aim the camera straight, but here, something fragile about this man.
If you knew the man, you know he was anything but.
A happy mistake, then. You caught the soul he is hiding. So,
don't use that one.
tell me,
Framing the door across the street.
is the look a warning? This is what happens if you play in the street.
A friend of the boy he used to play with. Can't anymore.
What of the look of the boy who cannot play anymore? We are left to wonder.
Right.
Who took it?
A young American, like yourself.
I don't have the eye.
No. I have the eye. We know it when we see it. Only 5 prints left. You should buy one from me.
He is feeling insulted.
You get a good price.
Louis, you better relax.
Yeah. I can't read anything I wrote before Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire. But
Right.
some of these aren't so bad, Louis. The fountain and the couple and the... I think I've seen it somewhere, like in a book or something, right?
It's not mine. That's Fred Stein.
Why are you still in his head?
Elsa Triolet.
Oh?
Odell, mid-30s. I'm still in New Orleans.
What's going on? Did Armand change his stuff?
What is this?
She had a paper bag over her head. She agreed.
I don't want you thinking I was trying to pass them off as mine.
Yeah.
What?
I was an adequate photographer. An amateur.
I was gonna say, like, Louis getting pissed at the gallery runner over his art is like, bruh, it happens, bro. You gotta take that shit with stride. You can't be accepted everywhere. I wanted to go more into that just from an artist POV, but like we're gonna be here all day. I think there was a point in my art career where like I felt like I've been like honing my skills for the last 7-6 years, that like any gallery I go to like is always almost gonna be a yes. But it's like not just because I felt like my paintings were the shit, but just this idea of like, man, like I've come so far. And there was this gala that they were doing at a museum. Funny thing, I work at the museum right now. There was this gala that they were doing at a museum, and I put my art in it. The painting, I don't think that painting is here, but it's the painting of like a lady with flowers in her hair. It was orange. I absolutely love that painting, and I put it into the gala and it got rejected. When I told you, that was one of the most humbling experience ever, just because like I have showed at the gala like the year before. Humbling experience. By the end of the day, it's like those galas or those galleries have they have jurors, so like people who like part of the jury who like decide what kind of art goes into that theme. So it's like it could have been that like my painting didn't just fit the theme they were going for that year. But that was a very humbling experience, and it was a like earth to Franklin experience. Like, hey man, come back down to earth. Like, you can't be rejected and stuff like that. And I think since then, when it comes to getting your art places, is just like, remember, art is subjective at the end of the day. What you have is not what they might not be looking for, or like maybe your skill level is not at that point yet. So it's like that hubris got brought down significantly. And obviously it hurts when you get rejected, because like, especially with your arts, like you put your blood, sweat, mind and soul into it. It's part of your identity, right? And that being rejected, it's like, oof. But it's like wailing at and screaming at them ain't the way, man. This is the painting. I don't know if this is clear enough, but it's a painting of a lady, orange. Funny thing is that this painting is actually at the gala right now, because it got in it got in the next year, which is like this year. But when I get it back from the museum, it's gonna be hanging back here one of these days for you guys to see. But yeah, having your stuff being rejected or being called an amateur or all that is all part of the process. Like, one day, those same people that call your stuff amateurs, like the more you hone your skills, the more they like recognize it. But like wailing at someone, I mean, I get it. You feel like part of your identity got insulted or called out, but it's just part of the game, honestly. And what is this whole thing with Armand stealing Daniel's head, like picking out some of Daniel's darkest moments? Because it's making me think of what Santiago told Claudia last episode, that when Claudia asked him, how do you make your victims accept death. And he says he goes into their mind and dig through their darkest shames and stuff. And everything Armand has been saying about Daniel has been some pretty dark stuff that he did. Asking her to put a bag over her head, and she did. And the one with his dad's magazine. So I was like, I want to know where this is going. And who the frick jumbled Louise? So much going on. So much going on. And of course, if these answers get answered in future episodes, obviously don't say anything like, let me just experience it and be confused. I like being confused. I like being far away as possible from what's actually going on so that the surprise hits me heavy. So comment with caution, please.
Yeah, that was good. And then the song came back again. Oh, wait. I should kill whoever wrote it. You want to ride home?
Is that a love interest?
When I can't control the light I'm getting, I'm supposed to stand by a street lamp, wait for the world to pass under it. I'm a vampire. You're a vampire. I'm out there prowling for the moment. Do you know how many great Gordon Parks played?
Lestat.
I spent 3 or 4 days with friends with him and shit. I can't do that.
And this one? Oh, and her.
The limitations of an artiste.
Nothing wrong about this photo.
These okay, I love how Lestat's outfits has changed over time. Now he's back to his sexy ass suave freaking coats that he had in season 1. Obviously it started with the slit throat. Could this be that it's time healing wounds for Louis? Like the change in Lestat's outfit? Again, everything Louis is saying about the film photography, word. I took film photography as part of my art degree, and dog, the amount of shots that you take that you're like, this is the one. And then you take into the dark room and found out that like your exposure was too high or too low, or maybe when you were reeling your film into the wheel, your finger smudged it, and out of like 20 clicks that you took, only 1 or 1.5 comes out good, and you just lose your freaking mind because it's not like digital, right? Like you can't tell. There's that part. And Louis also talked about night photography. One of our projects was night photography, and that already brings so much trouble when you're shooting with film because of exposure and how long you have to keep the shutter on, like how long you have to keep the shutter on and all that. So, and of course it's your work, so sometimes like it's hard for you to see the flaws in it. I talk about it with Fox a lot of times in some of my reaction and some of my views and angles and stuff, and he's like, hey brother man, like this and this, you probably can't see it because like you're in the moment, or you feel so passionately about one thing that you neglect another thing or stuff like that. It's something that I can't see, but like it takes like listening to someone I care for and like respect his opinion to actually like help me catch those blind spots that I can't see. So I'm guessing that's what this is with him and like Lestat, like asking Lestat, hey man, like what is wrong with this photo? It's like, it's our baby, so like we can't always see what's wrong with it. Like even when I look at my paintings, sometimes it's like I'm content as because I know what my paintings used to look like years ago, but it's like in a skill level or like particular concept in art, maybe I might be lacking in some of those, but like I probably wouldn't see it because I'm like, this shit looks clean as but then it would take someone to like look at it and be like, okay, maybe the shadows on this side, or the proportion of the ear or the eye is kind of off, or stuff like that. It takes another eye to see it sometimes. That's why it hurts when someone comes at your art, because you're like, golly, like I've spent so much. It's kind of like these videos sometimes. Like I pour my heart out on some of these videos, and that shit gets 2K views on YouTube. And I'm like, but this shit is so cold. And then I see other videos of people just, let me not say nothing, and they get 200K views. And I'm like, oh, brother. But yeah, man, sometimes it feels some type of way when your art is not viewed by many the way you view it. By the end of the day, shit is subjective, right? And that's why I didn't want to talk about any art shit, because we'll be here forever. We're only 28 minutes in this episode.
One thing wrong about this photo.
Well, for one thing, I'm not in it. You see here, in the corner?
Good critiques.
And on this night, you only had 8 frames of film on you. A haunting set of clouds move. If it lacks singularity, there's nothing wrong, per se, with the frame, but...
Light through yonder window breaks. It is the north, northwest, and Louis is...
Romeo!
The sun.
It's barely Balthazar.
The punishment?
Because you don't like flapping your arms in their stupid play.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Dead.
Yikes.
Oh, my town was sad for me. Oh, poor orphan. Did I want to know what love is before I die?
Sounds like a lie.
I thought so too, but then you shook so much when I took my shirt off. But when there's death all around.
I saw the war too.
She
And
was
the
in
love
there.
making. And he has his eyes closed. You know, I said to him, "You're making love to me, and you think it's wrong to look at me."
She's so boyish. Frozen.
This is my favorite walk in Paris. When you are the oldest suit in town, it is a comfort to be among your contemporaries.
I bet.
Not the art, the apology.
Oh my god. I love these cats, but god damn, man. Yay. Confess. And it's both of them too. Come here. Only God knows how much damage he did back there. Okay. Both of you out. Before you start clawing my paintings. Out. Swear you give them an inch, they take a mile. Start messing up my paintings.
Do not enjoy using my powers like that, Louis.
Seemed like you did.
That was for curving discipline for the situation, and if I may, you were wound rather tightly after Santiago's probing.
He ain't wrong, Louis.
I handle folks like Santiago both my lives. I don't need you flying in like Vampire Papa.
I did it poorly, but I did it for our protection. I am not Lestat, Louis.
Okay.
In unison.
The Adoration of the Shepherds with Adorner, a contemporary of my maker, Marius de Romanus. The canvas painted in my maker's studio, and in this case, this is Amadeo. He was rescued from a brothel when he was 15. Named...
Jesus.
The abuse in the brothel was such that he cannot be sure that is what his parents named him.
Brother.
Aaron.
Is that him?
The parents that into slavery, fragments, maker's purchase. His reluctance to share the dark gift, I served him with all my heart. 7 years before I was stricken with illness, before I was turned.
The way you can see Lestat in the background, just like, here we go again, or Lestat in the background, kind of like looking at Louis to see if to see how Louis is responding to Armand's backstory. Golly, like every backstory of these characters are just like, it's almost like it's a competition for which one is severely heinous than the other. Donated. That's Jeffrey Epstein right there. Donated to friends that came into town.
And sent me to Paris to reign over the coven abandoned by Magnus.
Gotcha.
Who am I, Louis? And my history I have endured. No one has painted me in over 400 years.
Sorry to disturb you, maître.
What is it, Romain?
I look good.
Oh, I love that sentiment, man. Like, what am I? Is it my history I've endured?
Mom died, Dad ran off, Aunt didn't want me. A
Mm,
fire, adopted, one of them was bad trouble.
mm,
Because even in between the dark things, there's something broken in me.
mm.
Go flagada or go cold. I mean, that's fine. Then you'll be fine again. And then bang. And then okay, and then bang, and...
You got blood on your arm.
Ah, I bled through. Ah, don't move too much, the pins, huh? I'm leaving a trail.
Claudia, you need to go.
Claudia! The show is a hit. The show is our cover.
Tell me again what it is.
We all humble ourselves.
Tell me again how Sam licks the stage clean after every show. And I'll tell you a job I'd rather do. Twan could play the part.
Hey, let her go, Armand.
15 minutes and I could pretend.
It's a degrading 15 minutes.
For real.
But I don't. I missed a chore and made a friend. And before you tell me to make friends with the coven, I can't, because they've all turned inward too long ago and you know it, which is why you run to lose.
I'll let you whine.
Boy, get your hands off Claudia, man. We ain't doing that, man. We ain't doing that. And from the sound of it, she's spitting facts, man. Like, oh, God, this show, man. This show, man. Why do these men just feel like they can choke Claudia against a wall? All of them. Lestat, Louis, now Armand. Is it because of her small physique? Like, is it because of how you guys view her as smaller or innocent? Or like, come on. Come on, Armand. It all comes down to the control, right? The self-control is like everybody gets impulsive or everybody don't know how to control themselves when someone is coming at them. Same thing with Lestat, same thing with Louis. Even in this episode with Santiago, same thing with him now. It's like, I get where you're coming from. Like, you have a business to run and a whole coven to keep safe. But it's like, dog, get your hands off her, man. Look how she's talking up at him because she's so small. Oh, Claudia. And there goes my subtitles, AMC. Thank you very much.
Let us agree. Going forward, you will do more than the bare minimum on and off stage. And the friend you made, you will not see again.
Nah, this is Lestat's energy from season 1, man. This is the same freaking threat Lestat made. The same energy on the train. Essentially telling her, hey, man, know your role and stick to that role. And that is effed up as heck. That is effed, man. Again, bringing up a person's past in a way to like nudge them in the direction they want. Kind of like, you owe me. Like, I know what you did to Lestat. And I don't know if part of what he just said is like him being angry at her for doing that to Lestat, someone he had a bond with in the past. But at the same time, I feel like this is what Santiago was saying. It's like, you're so hard on her, but you let Louis run free. You know what I'm saying? It's like Louis has done more to sabotage y'all's coven and serenity, way more than Claudia. And she has to do way more. And Santiago was right. It's like that that courtesy that he shows Louis is not necessarily going to transfer to you, sweetheart. And that's the thing with this show. Honestly, guys, like, let me feel how I'm feeling about these characters in the moment. Like, you don't have to nudge me in a specific way. It's like, let me feel how I feel. It's like with Armand, like, I felt everything I was feeling while hearing his backstory, and it was beautiful, and it was kind, and it was not kind. It was beautiful, and it was sorrowful, and the whole sentiment that was explored there, like, I felt it as the show intended. But I'm sure the show also intended me to feel a certain kind of way watching him do this to Claudia. So like, let me feel how I feel. You don't have to justify it or anything. Like, let me feel how I feel about these characters, because I'm sure that's how the writers intended. If there's something deeper to learn or overcome later on, like, let me get to that organically. But it's like, I'm feeling how I'm feeling about these characters right now, like what we're seeing him do to Claudia. And based on our attachment, I should stop saying our, based on my attachment to Claudia, of what I've experienced men do to her last season and including this season, it's like, I have the right to like feel these different ways about these characters. And I feel like that duality is what I always try to talk about with these characters when it comes to interacting with some part of the fandom. Is like, hey man, I can appreciate that there's a well-written character that serves the story well, but I can also hate his guts for all the stupid shit and evil shit he does, you know, and vice versa with every character. So nah, this is too much. Like, this gives me Lestat's train energy. Get back in your cage, dog. It's like she's telling you how humiliating and embarrassing that role is for her. It's like the bane of her existence, this idea that she's this little, because she lives with it day in and day out. And even when she's talking to that shorty that she has no breasts, she said, yeah, I ain't got none. I didn't get a chance to get none. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's just one flimsy example, but it's like she's showing you that this is this, and you're using this to threaten her, to force her to continue doing something she dreads with enthusiasm. Yeah, this is get back in your cage dog energy for sure. And that's the whole thing. It's always F what you're feeling, Claudia. Like, F what you're feeling. Like, Louis changing her, or like help making Lestat change her, is like when she exploded at him, she told him, hey man, like, I could have died. Like, that would have been my life. And knowing how hard a vampire's life is, maybe he wasn't thinking selfishly in the moment, but it's like, that was still your decision to change her. So it's like, F her life. Like, I'm saving her by giving you this dark gift. Even though I believe at that moment he was trying to do some good because of the riot he intentionally or unintentionally started. It's like, F her life. Let me do this. Lestat as well. She ran away. F her life. Go make Louis happy. And here, Armand, come on. It's like, F her life. Like, stay here, man. I know what you did. Stay here. Keep doing them dances, them degrading dances. And that's why, like, when she started her act at the beginning of this episode, I was like, man, I hope they don't play into any, like, stupid, dumbass, like, racist stereotype in her character. Because that would be, like, triple. Yeah, it would have been triple times worse, because at least they're just playing on the fact that she's a young person. But it's like, if they were also playing on the fact that, like, she was black and how the world in that time viewed people of other races that weren't white or Caucasian, it's like, I would have had it. So that would have made it so much worse if, like, Armand was telling her to do this as a person of color, if there was that, like, other racial aspect. But honestly, even if they don't explicitly say it, we know the show we're watching. We saw season 1 and everything in New Orleans. It's like, and after the war as well, come on now. A war that was highly, like, racial. like some of the motivations behind it. Come on now, like we knew how some of those people coming in there were viewing her as a little black girl. Talk about like the, how did Molloy put it? Evangelization. I don't know that word, correct me. But also like I'm sure weird ass people are in there like on some like weird ass fantasy shit about her. But yeah, again, just that feeling I feel of like disappointment in characters. Like yes, it's part of them, but like that don't stop me from being disappointed sometimes if a character does something that it's not my favorite quality of theirs. It makes them a good, well-rounded character that affects the story in different ways. But at the same time, it's like, get your hands off her, man. Like, even when he was grabbing her arm, I'm like, dog, she might look like a kid, but she's not a child. Get your freaking hands off her. And now the choke and the hypocrisy too, because he was the one telling Louis to like behave himself. You know? It's like, come on, dog. And now AMC freaking took my subtitles away. It's like, these people have deep accents, man. Like, I'm bilingual, but goddamn, like, let me read this shit.
There's rot on the green room floor, see to it.
Come on.
Too old to play Hamlet. Too young to play Polonius. Or join your maker in oblivion.
Golly, Armand. Know your role.
Louis! Armand knows all about Lestat.
Oh, he knows.
How long's he known? But you colored it in for him.
You could trust Armand.
What about me and you?
Mm-hmm.
Unhappy. Comes to Coven, you're beaming like the whole world went Technicolor. Or told our
Gotta be
secret.
chasing it. Except he just threatened me with it.
Mm-hmm. What you gonna do about that, Louis?
Does it sound like him? Love makes you stupid.
Yo, Claudia, the MVP, man. I forgot. Love makes you stupid. Yo, this episode finna be 2 hours 30, my guys. It's like, I forgot my love makes you stupid. How could I forget this? Louis, man, I love you, dog, but goddamn, man, keep up. Keep the up, Louis. Come on, dog. Oh, that line delivery. Claudia, MVP. I forgot. Love makes you stupid. Yo, come on. Come on.
And you and him picked another one over me.
You picked the Coven! You left me! Go sit in your choice, sister.
No. That ain't it, cuzzo. So Armand taught him the fire powers?
The wilderness that is our daughter.
Lestat always has this I told you face. And he ain't wrong.
Shall we hunt?
Third floor, balcony.
Keep a watch.
Eyes, ears, and...
Hello? Is it going for Claudia? What are you doing? Are they trying to revolt?
Yeah, all that. Have a seat.
Is he getting more cozy with the thought or visions of Lestat as a wall forms between him and... Because again, as the season went on, the visions of Lestat had kind of like partially got softer. Well, last episode, it did go ham on him. So many things, yo. So many things.
Not later. You summoned him.
Oh?
You're gonna break it off with him, aren't you?
Oh?
Always doomed.
No, you're not.
That's what you wanted me to say?
Then you say what I want you to say now.
La pomme.
That was a test.
There isn't gonna be a hunt, is there?
So interesting.
Why this suit?
It's my favorite on you.
You might not know this, but I had the tailor inscribe your initials on the backside of the ticket pocket. Right here.
By the heart.
So your name is Cradle.
So your name would always cradle my heart. If this was a drama romance instead of freaking gothic horror romance, like their relationship would have been like one of those Hallmark Christmas movies. But I mean, those movies, correct me if I'm wrong, are like tragically conservative and very straight. But imagine a Christmas holiday Hallmark gay movie, or movie that featured two gay. That was what their relationships could have been. Because like Lestat is such a romantic, like his gestures and things he does on the romance side, but on the massive red flag side, whoo-wee, just imagine a Hallmark movie. Like that was so beautiful right there, having his name inscribed right there by the heart. Tell me that would make me melt immediately. That's crazy too. Told him that was the favorite suit. Boy took down the umbrella and let the suit get wet as he disappears. I don't know, man. This season, Claudia's delivery and the length of her emotions, freaking amazing. Yeah, what about you and me and you? You chose someone else again over me. And it only took him doubting what she said. Because she told him that and he said, that doesn't sound like him. For you. It doesn't sound like him for you. But to us and other people, choked out Santiago, choked out Claudia. Might as well choke some more out, but he would never do that to you. God, these characters, man, I love all of them, but sometimes, boy, they show their colors and it's like, oof. Again, all these events are not in isolation. That's why I love it. There's always a catalyst. There's always like a reason. Might not be the best reason, but there's always something. Everything doesn't happen in isolation. It's like different cycles going on all at once.
Would always cradle.
I love that, but then you dropped him from the sky, my guy.
I felt your panic.
The center isn't holding. Mutiny brewing. I'm not sure I can keep obedience any longer. Santiago wants
What's your job?
Others will follow him. You should.
I'm staying in Paris with you. Santiago wants to be Coven leader. Give him the job.
Never.
Watch him fail.
Never.
Listen to me.
I can't.
Listen. I will not. He'll overplay his hand, and everyone will see him for what he is.
He's learned about Lestat.
And that's where you can decide if you want it back.
The plan is already effed because Santiago is seeing everything Claudia wrote.
I want you more than anything in the world.
Title.
You sure about that, Aaron?
Yes, maître.
He just called you Maître?
Sitting on a bench.
Celeste.
Nothing but a man walking a dog. A drunk, asleep in his auto.
Good. Very good. Meet back at the theater.
They're already calling him Master.
Fascinating.
Right. Was he into some weird shit? And who is that body?
Don't be afraid. Just start the tape.
You weren't always a vampire.
This was way back.
I was a 33-year-old man when I became a vampire.
They're still arguing there.
Would you like to join us?
No.
Have your fun.
Have your fun.
Daniel Molloy. So they've been watching them. Enhanced.
I mean, you've forgotten, man. I mean, you don't understand the meaning of your own
So they did.
Warning!
I lost time. Things got a little heated.
With a boy. Things got heated with a boy. I was at home picking.
Hello? That's where the episode ended? Boy, I have more questions than answers. And some people tell me to watch the extended version, like that in the extended version, the next episode don't start playing. I think that's what I'm watching. But like, this AMC app website got me in a swivel, bro, because I can't even like, dog, there's so much mystery there. Like what actually happened that night or that morning. And these organizations have been doing like surveillance on them. Known suspect and victims, mission failed suspect. Like what? And yeah, this is their whole fight. With like him saying he don't feel needs to be cuddled or he don't feel needs to be accepted help that is embarrassing. Like it makes me go back to like what is Armand actually hiding from him, like with the Claudia notes and everything, and what is being hidden from Daniel as well. Kind of like those tapes we just heard him listen to. Lord have mercy. Interview with the Vampire, ladies and gentlemen. This episode, stellar. This episode, amazing. Everything with our dear Claudia and these men not being able to keep their hands off her, man. Her own wants and her own needs always been given like the back seat. It's flipping annoying as hell, man. It's so annoying. The whole coup d'etat that's going on. Yes. Hearing more about Armand, how he came to be, and how he answered that question to Louis. I love the heavy art focus of this episode with the images. I love how tender Lestat was in this episode. The outbreak between Santiago and Louis at the restaurant, at the table. Oof, that was spicy. Claudia. How is Armand still in this dude's head, Daniel's head? And what is the aim for all that? And what is that body bag? Is like, did Daniel kill someone by mistake? Did they kill someone during that attack? Or, and again, I think I should have said this at the beginning, but I couldn't have known at the beginning of watching these reactions. Please let me be confused. Because answering some of those questions for me in the comments might like rob me from discovering that myself. So like, if the again, I don't know. I don't want to keep policing the comment, honestly, but like, just use your best judgment, honestly. I'm gonna read the comments, but it's like there's so much, and I trust the show that like as more episodes come out, like stuff we get fleshed out. I really like Claudia's friendship with her new friend and the questions they ask each other. The moment at the museum was beautiful, like Armand like using the paintings to like talk about his life and his maker, all that good stuff. Yeah, right after that with Claudia and the threat of Claudia and Santiago, it was a lot. It was a lot. I have so many questions. The final scenes with Louis and Lestat, that's always like seeing that positive, loving, romantic side of Lestat being centered towards Louis is always good to see on screen. Is always good. Seeing it being centered usually is his other attributes that are centered. So that was always good. Him trying to break things off with Armand. Not necessarily break things off. That's what Lestat assumed, or his mind assumed, but it's like, what he said was a good plan. Give Santiago the reins and watch Santiago flop, which I don't think Santiago really flop because he's great at what he does. Give Santiago the reins, and then when it flops, let them come back to you. I think that was a good plan. But unfortunately, in the midst of that plan being discussed, Santiago is finding out so much about Claudia, Lestat, and the whole lie. Because Santiago is smart. I'm sure he was suspicious of Rip. Even in the beginning when she's talked about Bruce and he was like, is he Scottish? I felt like even back then, like he peeped something, you know? But yeah, he knows about Claudia now. And yes, what is Armand still doing in Daniel's head? Like the fact that whoever these people are have had surveillance on them for so long is absolutely wild to me. That is episode 4. Some of you were joking in the comments of some previous episodes telling me, Franklin, you just wait. These episodes number will keep rising and rising. I thought y'all were bluffing, but here we are. Thanks for watching.
About this copy of Vampire Lestat, is this like one that you've had for a long time, or? Whoa!
Had it forever.
Okay. All right, cool. You're just gonna leave that here, right?
See the way Sam Reed was laughing.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. You're just gonna leave that here, right? I think that. Okay.
I love him. Look how he started laughing.
Whoa! Okay. All right. Cool. You're just gonna leave that here, right? I think that is one of the strengths.